Hi Anshu, thank you for talking to us today. Can you tell us a bit about GOONJ's mission and how you're enabling an urban waste resource to reach those who need it most?
GOONJ primarily works on the issue of clothing. Whenever you talk about three basic needs, you say food, cloth and shelter. But when you talk about development subject, you just ignore the clothing. Clothing unfortunately has become a disaster relief material, although it's one of the basic needs.
A subject that we don't want to talk about. But have you ever thought that what are these women doing? Especially a large part of women who do not have enough to cover themselves. What we started doing, we started talking to people in the villages, and we found that they are actually using the dirtiest piece of cloth, if at all it is available with them. Then they are washing it, they cannot dry it in the sunlight because of walking seasons. Also, they do not have access to clean water, soap, and most importantly, we found a private place where they can wash this piece of cloth. Imagine the biggest gap which we find in the villages is a bucket. Can you imagine? If people are provided a simple bucket, how many problems are solved, you can't imagine. A lady can go, can take water in the morning, can have a bath anywhere with a whole lot of privacy. Then we found you have 2 to 3 women in the family and they are sharing the same piece of cloth because they have cycles. Further, millions of women are actually forced to use sand, ash, jute gunny bags, pieces of durry, rags, old paper, old newspaper, and recently we found that women are even forced to use a plastic sheet or a polythene in the name of napkin. And the worst part is that even the best health projects, the entire project on self-help group, microfinance, reproductive child health, women health, which are typically targeted to women, do not have any budget for the sanitary napkin across the globe. And this is what we tell people, that if you solve the problem of sanitary napkin, maybe half the problems of reproductive child health will not even happen. And it's basically nothing, it's just a cotton, old sari, suit, shirt, whatever little cotton, semi-cotton we get. We cut it into certain sizes, which is after a lot of research that what do women need. Right from the length and the thickness and all that we decided after a lot of experiments in various areas. And then we wash it, dry it in sunlight, iron it so that there is no moisture. And before packing in a newspaper bag, goes to a magnet. We run it through a magnet which we get out of old transistors and all, the big one, and then pack it.
So what we do, we motivate people in the cities to give away, because as we say that it's ultimately an urban discard. We don't even consider it a donation, because I personally feel that donation is the wrong word. The best word to do, go with it, discard. And also we all, sitting in urban areas, need to be thankful to the people who are ready to accept this old material and who are ready to wear, who are ready to extend the life cycle of that, our hard-earned money on those things. And in the rural India, what we are right now doing, we are again moving away from donation or charity issues. Rather, we are using it as a resource for the development. So people are motivated to, desilt water bodies, do the plantation work, clean the villages, dig a well, make bridge, whatever is the requirement of that particular village. So the communities work on that community work, and then instead of money and all, as reward, they get clothes, utensil, footwear, school material, whole lot of material which we collect from the cities, and then give it a decent shape in our processing center, and then it goes to these people.
So you've brought so much dignity to what is considered a discard item that people give with dignity and also take with dignity.
I think, especially in the case of clothing is a synonym of dignity. Why do all of us wear, clothes? But the most unfortunate part is that whenever you give it to people, most of the time you take away the dignity of people, because you are not worried that how you are giving, what you are giving. As a basic thing, we say that you always give what you have. You never give what people need. So that gap needs to be filled somewhere.
Can you give a few examples of the mismatch that you find in your operational work?
No, you can imagine, say, in an Indian context, if you start collecting women clothing, you collect more of ladies' suit, jeans and t-shirts. What the rural women still need is sari, blouse, petticoat or the traditional wear. 50% of the ladies' suit which comes to us actually do not have that string, which is called nada. So the urban women is not taking it out to save 50 paisa or 1 rupee, but she is taking it out to save herself from some kind of inconvenience. But just imagine a person who is at the receiving end and she gets a pajama without a nada. Look at a urban male. The average waist size is 32 plus. It ranges 32 to 40. The rural male is still 26 to 30. Imagine what a mismatch. Now to reduce that 4 inches, that person is going to end up at least 2 good days and almost 50-60 rupees. So we try to correct all these issues at our processing center. So most of the unusable items are converted into school bags, into skipping ropes, a range of things. Look at this. What is it? This is your old torn jeans. Into a school. So even the torn cloth can be utilized. This is what? Made of what? Dupattas. And the sarees? Sarees, chunnis. This is made of what? Imagine. Cloth and this is an old sofa cushion inside it. This is made of used paper. So many times you basically use your notebooks and all one side. Your papa, mama also use only one side of the paper.
You also help educational material reach those who need it in the rural areas.
We have this program called School to School, which connects urban school and rural school. So what we found, again, a gap area, and as I said that GOONJ primarily tries to work on the gap areas, literally the leftovers. So we found that you talk about education policy, you talk about curriculum, good teachers, good building, everything. But what we miss out is a basic school material for the rural kids or slum kids. We need to understand that maybe in 5th standard, the most important thing or the asset which a child needs is a notebook. So you have blackboards, you don't have chalks. You walk 3 kilometers one way, after 4 hours come back 3 kilometers, you don't have a water bottle. Now think of that child who has to spend these 6 hours, 6 kilometers walking and the school hour, and there is no source of water. So what we do, we channelize this material from urban to rural school. Again, add a lot of dignity because there is nothing which is distributed free of cost. Rather, we map a lot of things and we maintain a register where we see that whether the child is coming on time or not, how good is child in the education, discipline, whether the child takes a bath or not, and then it goes as a reward. So now hundreds of schools are attached in rural and urban India, and it has become a very big motivation for rural kids, and it has become an eye-opener for the urban kid who are totally cut off from the realities these days. So that's why we always say that these people are much more talented than us. They can really study without much resources. They are not demanding people. They can walk 3 to 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers to go to the school. And we want our parents to drop where? Inside the school. Not even outside.
What is your dream for the world, Anshu?
I personally feel that all of us need to pay back. We cannot ignore. We cannot put responsibilities on others. We cannot say that maybe this work is his responsibility or her responsibility. We all need to understand that what is our responsibility. But can we, now when we have the paying capacity, can we pay back to your own cost, to your own way? We are not saying that you give it to this one, give it to that one, but just give to that part of society. Then maybe the changes will happen.
Thank you very much for talking to us. GOONJ is a very inspiring example of social enterprise and how imaginative ideas can make such a huge difference to the world.
Thank you.